Okay, here we go. This is our last section for intermediate algebra 6.5, and it's going to be solving rational expressions. So let's go ahead and get started. There is only 11 problems on your last assignment. I will have the review posted next week sometime because I need to print it out and get all the problems wrote out for us to actually do. And then we'll finish this semester strong. Here we go. So we have y divided by 2 subtract y divided by 3 equals 42. So the first thing on these problems is we have to find this common denominator. So our common denominator here, and remember that this would be over 1, so we don't have to worry about that. So the common denominator between 2 and 3 is going to be 6. Then we're going to take our common denominator and multiply it by everything, and I'm going to go ahead and write that out. And you have to multiply it by both sides of the equation. So 6 times y divided by 2, so half of 6 is 3, so we're going to have 3y. 6 times y divided by 3, so 6 divided by 3 is 2y. And then 6 times 42 is, consult our calculator so I don't mess up, 252. 3y subtract 2y would be y equals 252. And that would be our answer. Number 2. And I'm going to go ahead and write. And if you notice that they have the solution set is no, there is none, so empty set. There's a couple of the problems that's going to have that, but if we don't have a variable on the bottom in the denominator's position, then we can't have. So 252 is a solution. There'll be some later on that there won't be. Okay, let's copy down number 2. So we have x divided by 7 equals. So first thing we do is find our common denominator. So 7, 8, and 28. 7 times 8 is 56. 28 times 2 is 56. 7 goes into 28, but 8 does not go into 28. So our common denominator on this one's going to be 56. And then just like last time, we're going to multiply everything by that on both sides of the equal sign. So 56 divided by 7 would be 8x. 56 divided by 28 is going to be 2. 56 divided by 8 would be 7. Then we solve for x. So x equals 2. Should grab my highlighter. I've switched offices for the day, if you can't tell. So I probably won't have these papers up until tomorrow. And I'm going to go ahead and copy this down here. All right, 3. We have 9 divided by v plus 1/3 equals 8 divided by v. So same thing here. Our common denominator on this one, though, is going to be 3v. And then we're going to multiply everything by 3v. And this one I'm actually going to take, or I'm going to write out this extra step so y'all can see how this plays out. So 3v times 9, because when we're multiplying by fractions, we multiply by the top, then divide by the bottom. So 3v times 9 would be 27v over v. 3v times 1 would be 3v over 3. 3v times 8 would be 24v over v. Then we divide here, so v divided by v, or simplify here. would be 1. So we'd have 27 plus 3 divided by 3 there. We're left with our b equals 24. And then we're going to solve. So subtract 27. V equals -3. Now then, since we have variables in the denominator position, we check this. If I put -3 here, it's not going to make the denominator be 0 on either of them. So this is still a solution. If it did make it 0 anywhere, it'd be undefined, and then it would not be a solution. Okay, let's do, I'm going to write this over here so I don't forget. But number 4. So we have x squared plus 3 for x equals 28 for x. Our common denominator is x, and since it's the same on both of them, we don't have to multiply by it, because when we multiply by it, we just have an extra x, and so then if it's divided by itself, it simplifies. So on this one, since our common denominator is the same, we get to just write out x squared plus 3 equals 28. Then we'd subtract our 3. And you can go ahead and solve it right here if you want, or you can move your 25 over and do the difference of 2 squares. Just remember that it's going to be a positive and a -5, because -5 squared is positive 25 and 5 squared is 25. I was about to write 25 there. 0. And then you do the x minus 5 equals 0. So x equals 5. X plus 5 equals 0. And you subtract the 5 to get x equals -5. And then I check. That's not going to make the bottom of either of these be 0. So these are both solutions. When you go to type it in, when you have both of them, just separate it with a comma. I'll go ahead and do number 5. And then I may start another video for this one. So we have paper over. So 5. We have x plus 4 divided by x plus 1 equals 3 over x plus 1. Our common denominator is x plus 1. So just like number 4, since they're both the same, if I multiply by them anyway, they're going to divide to be 1. So we don't have to do that step. We're going to have equals 3. And then we'd solve for x. X equals -1. We put our -1 up here to check. -1 plus 1 is 0. And I'm going to write that here. So -1 plus 1 equals 0, which makes it undefined. So undefined empty set. So on this problem, this is where we get to use this solution set is an empty set. Because when we put 0 in here, x cannot equal -1, like when we were doing our domain. All right, so we have 3 over x subtract 2 subtract 1 over x plus 1 equals -3 over x squared subtract x subtract 2. First thing we do here is factor this. So we have x squared, so we know we have an x and an x. We're subtracting factors of 2 that subtract to get 1 would be 2 and 1. And I have a negative here, so negative, positive. These match up, so our common denominator is going to be x minus 2 times x plus 1. When we go to do this one, we're going to multiply both sides by the same thing. But since this already has the x minus 2 here, we're going to end up just having to multiply it by x plus 1, what it doesn't have. So then 1, and we'd multiply it by the x minus 2 since it was over x plus 1. And then since it's negative 3 was over both of them, and we're just going to transfer our negative 3 here. Then distribute, so 3x plus 3 equals subtract x, negative times negative, plus 2 equals negative 3 here. Combine our like terms. 3x subtract x would be 2x. 3 plus 2 would be 5 equals negative 3. Subtract our 5. 2x equals negative 8. Divide by 2. X equals negative 4. Check it. So negative 4 subtract 2 would be negative 6. Good. Negative 4 plus 1 would be negative 3. That's good. Negative 4 squared would be 16. Subtract a negative 4, which would be plus. So 20 subtract 2 would be 18. So it doesn't make it 0 anywhere. Therefore, it doesn't make it undefined. So our answer on that one is that negative 4. I'm going to highlight both of these. And I'm going to stop this video and then we'll start our next one in a second.